Miami-Dade condo median prices fell below $400,000 in late 2025 for the first time in 3 years. At the same time, cash transactions accounted for 55.2% of all Miami condo sales as of February 2026, more than half. Think about that for a second. In one of America's most recognizable real estate markets, the majority of condos are now being purchased without a mortgage. That's not a sign of a healthy market. That's a sign that banks are walking away. And here's the part that most people aren't talking about. It's not a pricing problem, it's not an interest rate problem, it's a structural reserve problem. Florida passed a law requiring condo buildings to fully fund their reserves for structural repairs, and right now, that law is breaking deals, killing financing, and pushing some of these buildings completely off the table for anyone who needs a conventional mortgage. Today we're going to break down exactly what happened, what the law actually requires, and why this matters whether you own, rent, or are just watching the market from the outside. But before we get into it, if you're actively buying a condo right now in Florida, California, or Arizona, I want to make sure you walk away from this video with something you can actually use. I put together a 2026 HOA Buyer's Due Diligence Checklist. It's a full PDF guide with 27 specific questions to ask before you close on any HOA property. It covers the Florida SIRS and structural reserve requirements we're talking about today, California's SB 326 balcony inspection law, and what I call the Arizona hidden trap, a state with zero mandatory reserve laws where low HOA fees are often a warning sign, not a selling point. The guide also includes 3 real buyer scenarios, one per state, with actual dollar amounts showing exactly how people got hit with 5- and 6-figure surprise assessments after closing. And it has a 5-number health check you can run on any building using documents you're legally entitled to request. The link is in the description. It's 20 pages, and it will make you a more informed buyer than 90% of the people writing offers right now. Go grab it, and then let's get into what's actually happening in this market. To understand what's happening in 2026, you have to go back to June 24, 2021. That's the morning the Champlain Tower South in Surfside, Florida, pancaked into the ground in the middle of the night. 98 people died. A 12-story building was just gone. Investigators found what a lot of people already suspected. The building had been showing serious structural problems for years. Repairs kept getting deferred, and the reserve fund meant to cover major maintenance was basically empty. The board had been voting for years to waive contributions into that fund because it kept monthly fees lower and made units easier to sell. Florida's legislature moved fast after that. Senate Bill 4D became law in May 2022, and it created 2 overlapping obligations for condo associations: mandatory milestone structural inspections and mandatory reserve funding for structural components. The milestone inspection requirement applies to any condo building that is 3 stories or taller. At 30 years of age, the building must complete a Phase 1 inspection by a licensed engineer or architect. If that engineer finds structural distress, a Phase 2 inspection follows. For buildings within 3 miles of the coastline, the threshold drops to 25 years. But the reserve funding piece, that's where most of the pain is concentrated. For years, boards in Fort Lauderdale and Miami would vote to waive reserves. As of 2026, Florida law says they cannot waive reserves for structural things anymore. The grace periods are fully over. As of January 1st, 2026, all applicable condominiums must be actively funding their reserves. No votes around it, no more kicking the can. So here's what happens when a building actually does one of these studies, which is now called a Structural Integrity Reserve Study, or SIRS. An engineer comes in and assesses 8 specific structural categories: the roof, load-bearing walls, foundation, plumbing, electrical, fire protection, waterproofing, and windows and exterior doors. For each one, they calculate 3 numbers: how much useful life is left, what it costs to repair or replace, and how much money the association actually has set aside right now. For a lot of buildings in Miami, particularly anything built in the 1970s, 80s, or 90s, those numbers came back bad. Not a little bad, catastrophically bad. At the Cricket Club in North Miami, residents received special assessments as high as $134,000 per unit. At Mediterranean Village in Aventura, some owners were assessed up to $400,000. These assessments weren't caused by sudden structural failure. They were the predictable result of years of deferred maintenance. At Palm Bay Yacht Club in Miami, a 27-story building with 235 units, the total assessment reached $46 million, working out to roughly $175,000 per unit. Across the broader pre-2000 condo stock in Miami, average special assessments from these reserve studies are now running between $28,000 and $75,000 per unit. Think about what that does to someone who bought a unit for $300,000 and is now staring down a $75,000 bill they didn't see coming and cannot get a loan to cover. To avoid fines or occupancy restrictions, boards have been passing emergency special assessments to bridge the gap between their current empty accounts and the millions of dollars required for roofs, load-bearing walls, and fire protection systems.
Now, here's where this becomes a financing crisis and not just a financial one. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the two government-sponsored entities that back the overwhelming majority of conventional mortgages in the country, do not just evaluate the borrower when it comes to condos. They evaluate the entire condo project. And on March 18, 2026, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac released coordinated policy updates that fundamentally reshape how condos get financed. The biggest change hits right now, this summer. Effective August 3, 2026, every condo loan in a project with more than 10 units requires a full review. The limited review process, which previously let buyers skip some of the scrutiny by putting 25% down, is gone entirely. What does full review mean? It requires a comprehensive evaluation of the association's budget, reserve funding, insurance, delinquency rates, pending litigation, special assessments, and inspection reports. If identified repairs to critical components total more than $10,000 per unit and the association lacks the funds, the project is ineligible for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac financing. Ineligible means no conventional mortgage, no refinancing. Units can only be purchased with cash, portfolio loans, or non-conforming financing, all carrying higher costs, all shrinking the buyer pool. A 100-unit building with a $1.2 million deferred roof replacement, no reserve funding allocated, exceeds the threshold by $2,000 per unit. The building doesn't become ineligible when the roof fails, it becomes ineligible when the lender discovers the unfunded liability exists. And then, in January 2027, the rules tighten again. The minimum reserve funding requirement increases from 10% to 15% of the condo association's annual budget. How many buildings can pass that today? According to industry data from one of the largest condo review firms in the country, only 3% of buildings currently have reserves at or above 15%. That means 97% of condo buildings in this country do not currently meet the standard that will be required for conventional financing in 6 months.
Let's put numbers to what this looks like in Miami right now. Miami-Dade condo inventory is sitting at 13.2 months of supply, well into buyer's market territory, and a level not seen since the post-2007 crash period. For context, a balanced market sits around 6 months. Condos in Miami-Dade are averaging about 72 days from listing to contract in Q1 2026. In some older buildings where special assessments are pending or financing is questionable, listings are sitting for 90, 120, even 150 days with little to show for it. Sellers of units in buildings from the 1985 to 2005 era, the ones hitting the reserve study thresholds hardest right now, are discounting 15 to 25% versus their 2022 peak prices just to move units. And the median Miami area condo HOA fee has risen approximately 40 to 55% since 2020. Miami-Dade high-rise condo HOA fees now average over $1,900 per month, making Miami second only to Manhattan for monthly carrying costs. So you have a buyer looking at a condo that might be listed at a discounted price, but then they run the actual monthly numbers. Mortgage payment, HOA north of $1,900, property insurance in Miami-Dade averaging $12,200 per year, property taxes, and potentially a pending special assessment. Together, HOA, insurance, and taxes now frequently equal or exceed the mortgage payment on Miami condos under $1 million. At that point, a lot of buyers walk. The repricing of older condo stock in Miami is structural and embedded, not a discount that will reverse with sentiment. That's the market itself saying this is a different kind of problem.
There are a few groups of people this hits in very different ways. If you already own a unit in one of these older buildings, the assessment letter may have already arrived, or it's coming. Miami-Dade County has announced a condominium special assessment program offering qualifying owners loans of up to $50,000 with a 40-year repayment term, which helps some people, but for assessments running $100,000 or more, it's a partial solution at best. If you're a buyer looking at Miami condos right now, the most important thing you can do before you fall in love with a unit is ask for 3 documents: the Structural Integrity Survey Study, the Milestone Inspection Report, and the last 12 months of board meeting minutes. A building at 80% funded is in reasonable shape. A building at 30% funded is carrying significant deferred liability. And you can check whether a building is on Fannie Mae's ineligible list using the Fannie Mae Condo Status Finder before you even make an offer. If you're an investor, the market right now is split sharply. New construction in Brickell and Edgewater is still moving at a premium, while older mid-tier stock has become the segment where price discovery is most active and buyer leverage is highest. Cash buyers are finding opportunities, but they're pricing in those assessment risks hard. And if you're a renter, this matters too. Some landlords in these older buildings are absorbing massive assessment bills, and in some cases, that cost is being passed down through rent increases or sale decisions that tighten supply. Here's the bottom line as of June 2026. The law that came out of Surfside was always going to create this moment. Decades of deferred maintenance, years of associations voting not to fund reserves, keeping fees artificially low, that bill is finally due. And the combination of Florida's new reserve law, Fannie Mae's tightening guidelines, and the upcoming August deadline for full review on every condo purchase is landing all at once. The Miami condo market is not crashing in the traditional sense, but a significant portion of it, specifically the older inventory that made up so much of what middle-income buyers could afford, is now operating in a world where conventional financing is either unavailable or barely accessible, and where monthly carrying costs have climbed to levels that make the math hard to defend. The buyers who will do well are the ones who do their homework before the offer, not after. The sellers who will move their units are the ones willing to price for today's reality, not 2022's. Everyone else is just sitting and waiting, and the market right now has very little patience for that.